Hello, hello. Welcome to Small and Thriving. Today we are talking all about pricing anxiety and how to attract high ticket clients, attract, retain, close, all of that. And I have a real example from a service provider who has some really interesting concerns. But I'm going to read it to you. We'll get into the details. And I also want to introduce you to a concept that I've come up with called Sell Yourself on It First. It's exactly like it sounds. It's all the mindset work you need to do, but also all the strategic work you need to do to be so confident with where you're at, with the value you provide, in what you're doing, in the return on investment that you know you provide for your clients, that it's a no brainer. Like you simply either have this problem and are able to pay for it and get this service I'm offering and the result I am offering guaranteed, or it's just not for you. Like it's a lot of mindset work, but also understanding of pricing and how you come across, how you get to any pricing number. So my name is Fakwa Nkwacha. I'm your host. This is Small and Thriving, and we are talking about how to help you get more clients, how to help you get more clients, and help you get super fan clients. Super fans are the ones that they pay you, they work with you, they love you, and they don't stop raving about you. Okay, I want to get into it. And in the end, I will tell you a lot more about how to work with me as a business coach to help you find and focus on your money making priorities. Because again, we're in business to make money. And so if whatever you're doing isn't making you money, we got to reevaluate it. Okay. All right. Let me get right into this client's quote. Okay. So the person goes, I'm struggling with confidence right now. I have designed a phenomenal service. I'm kind of masking their exact thing so you don't know who they are. I have designed a phenomenal service for insert target audience that will help them insert benefits. I have been told by my test group of clients that I have delivered way more than ever expected and they are thrilled. I even have some amazing reviews. My issue is asking for the business and for the price I am selling my service for. Um, every time I turn around, someone else is offering similar services. I'm struggling with seeing my value, even though I've been told many times that many people need my services. I'm worried that my insecurities will affect my set service sales. How do you gain the confidence to market and sell your service? Such a wonderful question. And there's so much in there about what it takes to be an entrepreneur, honestly. What it takes to create something, attach a value to it, understand that you are exchanging value for value, you're giving a service, and people are paying you, money is valuable to them, and how to embody the personality of somebody who believes in what they are doing and be able to sell that, because the first person you have to sell is yourself, and your customers do see that confidence. I wrote about Audacity on LinkedIn the other day, and how incredible Audacity is, because I was listening to this workshop, and I don't know if this babe knows, but her confidence is palpable. It's like you have to believe what this person is saying. Now, could she be bamboozling us? Absolutely. But she had results to back it up, client case studies. But she was just like she gave this, maybe I'll just say who she is. She gave this $1 million energy, and it's something she preaches in her marketing. And you don't realize just how important it is that you fully embody confidence in your ability to deliver. Like that's the first thing you're selling. So I do appreciate that this person recognizes how important this is. So I did tell you I'm going to talk to you about the sell yourself on it exercise. It's coming, but first let me discuss or highlight some specific things you've mentioned. The first is, you talk about competitors. Every time you turn around, somebody else is offering what you are selling. That's not a bad thing. It means there's a market for it. Have you ever been to an area and there's a food court? Sometimes I wonder, why did they just put all of them together? Because when you're hungry, you know where to go. You don't have to wonder what part of the mall things are. So it means that there's a demand for the service. That's why there's so many places that offer food inside the mall. It means people generally are hungry when they come to a mall. Similarly, in the world of services, if there's a lot of business coaches, a lot of bookkeepers, a lot of marketing people, it means there's a demand for that service. Now, the issue that comes with that is you have to figure out how to stand out, how not to just look like, you blend into the sea of sameness, and people are just like, okay, I can pick X or Y. How do you stand out? How do you make yourself unique enough to be the only choice, like to be the one of one choice? Like, okay, of course, there's a bunch of restaurants here, but I really just want McDonald's, or I really just want pad thai. Is that the name of the restaurant? I'm seeing their brand. Anyways, ignore that. How to make yourself the only option. in all of this. Like, it's not a bad thing that there's competition, is what I'm trying to get at. It means there's demand for it. Now, your job is to focus on yourself, put on your blinders to figure out exactly how you will stand out. So forget about that competition for a second and be through that it means there's a demand for what you're offering. And you've already validated that. You've had real people tell you. So hey, think about that for a second. One of the exercises you can do is to figure out your unique angle, is to really, first of all, get clear on what you're offering. What are the benefits your service provides, not the specific tools like, say, budgeting or whatever, if you're a finance person, but like, what is the result of that? Is it having an emergency fund so that they're not caught off guard? Is it having, beginning to invest? Is it being able to buy their first house? Like, those are the actual benefits, not the specifics of, saving, budgeting, cutting, or getting more salary. Like, not all of that necessarily. So if you can, articulate, save X more per my example there was time, save X more hours per week. But if you can articulate what it is you do for the person that you're serving, it can help you to also just remind yourself that this is something of value. Think about the unique element in what you offer. Yes, there are many competitors, but what makes you different? Is it the kind of work you've done? Is it the industries you've worked for? Is it your own personal life story of how you got into what you're doing? Think about that and don't discount it for a second. People will gravitate to you for the most interesting things that you don't consider to be big deals. They appreciate it about you and they're like, okay, this is my person because I relate to them. Even things like being a mom. I see a lot of people talking now about, oh, I won't hire a business coach who isn't a mom. Well, I understand this sentiment. And I think a lot of people feel like people don't understand the amount of juggling that's required. I get that. So maybe for some people, that's actually a selling point. I do think that you can work with people who is used to working with moms and who understands that the what's required. But I'm just saying that all parts of your story are relevant, are relevant anyways. And so that's the first thing you need to do. Another thing you can be doing is, yes, you know what you do, right? But get interested in the tangible results that you offer. You already have, clients you've worked with, even though they were beta clients. So reach out to them and collect success stories. Understand exactly how you saw them through, what you did for them. What was the situation before they worked with you? How did that make them feel? These are some good questions, by the way, that you should write down. And what is the result now that they worked with you? How did that make them feel? What would they say to somebody who's on the fence about working with you? Like, these are tangible things that can help you see the specific results that you've helped people achieve. And not only will that give you confidence, it will also give your potential customers confidence that you are the right choice. Okay, use data and metrics along with, gathering quantitative or qualitative testimonials, which is words. You can gather qualitative, anyways, numbers, data and metrics is what I'm trying to say. I'm mixing them up for a second. Quanti, quali, anyways. Gather data. So that looks like, asking for specifics around, how much time were they spending on this task before, how many sales did they make before, how what else? How much were they charging before? Like, all these questions that help you get into the specifics of, even like, that will help you quantify things like percentage increase in revenue, reduction in time spent on tasks. All these are tangible metrics that you can use in your marketing, but you can also review regularly to make you remember that you're that girl. I imagine that you're a woman, and if you're not, well, you're that guy. Okay, and you don't just gather these things to put in your secret stash, of confidence wallets, which is great. You share the stories, you talk about these metrics. Yo, if you don't talk about your stuff, who's going to talk about it? Like, you have to be your first cheerleader. You have to be so loud about your work. You have to be so confident about it. People, you have to believe so hard in what you're doing before people come. You can't be the one late to the cheering you on party. You have to be the first, integrating these success stories in your marketing, in your website, in your social media, promotional materials, talks you give, demonstrate your real world impact. And another thing that also happens is the more you repeat these things, the more your brain believes it. It comes seamlessly, right? So get in the habit of doing this. Part of my process of working with people, and again, I'm client number one. Every week, I have a weekly accountability call with myself, sometimes for myself, and then with clients for them weekly. And yes, we talk about what you said you do last week, what you did, issues that came up, we score you. But I also, celebration is big. I celebrate what were some of the things that I feel like I saw changes in this week, changes in my mood, changes in my feelings, changes in how much I had to struggle to do things, real tangible wins, things that I was struggling to do before that I'm doing easily now. Just think commitments I kept to myself, and that is important. Sometimes I share about them on social media. Interestingly, I find that the algorithms also like you sharing your wins. Like when I shared I get a new client, or I shared I'm proud of myself, those posts kind of do better than others. Maybe people like to celebrate in our joys. It's kind of the emotional aspect of things. So don't shy away from sharing your stories, is what I'm saying. And then embrace your expertise. Yo, if you are teaching people how to walk, right? You don't need to be Usain Bolt to teach people how to walk. That guy is the fastest runner. I don't know if he still is, but like, just so far as you're ahead of someone in a significant way, and you have learned how to teach them to achieve the result you have achieved, or you have learned how to help them get where they want to get in a structured way that they can follow, they can understand, and they can implement in a way that allows them to get feedback on their process, you're an expert. Of course, your expertise will grow as time will go on, but if you're ahead of someone enough to mentor them, to teach them something, then that's valuable enough. So recognize it. What does that look like? It looks like listing out this, unique skills, experiences that have contributed to the effectiveness of your service. One thing I've heard people say pretty repeatedly now is, oh, Fapa, you have such a wide knowledge of different industries. And it comes from me being multi-passionate. Like I know a lot of things about quite a few things, and I used to struggle with that before. I was like, oh, why am I a generalist or whatever? But now apparently it's a strength, and people appreciate that. I can talk to them about the accounting areas. I can talk to them about selling courses. I can talk to them about social media management. I can talk to them about increasing their network in the medical field. Like, I just know these things. How? I don't know. I read a lot of books. I watch a lot of shows. I know a lot of random little things. And apparently that's like a skill now to be able to, you know, easily have conversation about different topics, different industries, and not be lost. And so I'm recognizing that as a skill now. Think about your own life and the things you're hearing from people and document these things. I think our brains are biased to negativity. And so you have to make a conscious effort to document the positive and hunt for the good. Or else you only will ever remember all the negative stuff that you're hearing or that you're feeling about yourself. So definitely take the time to document your expertise and embrace it. Recognize your skills, compile testimonials, and build credibility. Use the testimonials and your skills in your marketing. Include them in your email signature, your social media bios, website, all of this. Yo, sell yourself. Okay, now, I've been hinting at this sell yourself on it exercise, but now I want to spend some time teaching you how to sell yourself on your expertise. Like, that's what this part is, how to sell yourself on your expertise, because it's so important that you are extremely confident in what you do, in the results you're able to achieve for people, and why you are the choice. Like, it's only you. I am the best business coach for you if you want to find your next 3 to 5 clients in 12 weeks and gain super fans along the way. Hire me for that. That's a plug for my services, by the way. Money making priorities. Head over to Fopsy.ca/call and book a call with me, a sales call with me, if you'd like to learn more about working with me as a business coach. Like, so how do you sell yourself on your service? One practical way is start with 10 reasons why. Like, why would people need to work with you? A client I was working with is a social media manager, and she was like, "Okay, I don't know why would someone hire me to do this. I just kind of know what to do. Anything." I was like, "Okay, let's talk about it. Why would someone need a social media manager? We got the time thing, or because they need time back. Okay, what else? Because they need to build a brand. What does that mean? They need to know how to stand out online. Why does that matter? Because they need to sell more products. Okay, what happens if they actually suck at all those things? Well, then they make sometimes cringe content that's actually turning people off. And like, they have these big budgets, even like big brands, sometimes they spend all these she was saying that they spend money on these ads on TikTok, and she just sees them and she's like, what is this? So like, you these are just things we've come up with off the top of our heads. So if you sat down for a minute and wrote down at least 10, but 100 is a good number, because if you aim for such a ridiculous number, you surprise yourself with where you can find problems that you solve. So you first start with the problems that you can identify, but then also go out and hunt for these problems. People are always talking about their problems on Twitter, on threads, on comments, on job descriptions for roles that they're hiring. People love to talk about their problems, right? And so go hunt for these problems and remind yourself that people are out here saying, I will pay for this, especially in a job description. And so highlight those things and incorporate how people talk about their problems into to how you talk about the solutions you provide, right? This helps you realize, okay, I'm really solving a real problem here, right? I've seen all these things, and you have to remind yourself of it. So this is what I do for people. Sure, I'm not curing cancer, but I'm pretty valuable. I am extremely valuable. This is the impact I have in people's lives. This is the time I save them. These are the results I get people, and my work is important. I want to give you an example from this morning to show that even when you have sold yourself on it, you never really stop selling yourself on it. This morning, I was just looking at my niche a bit more about, okay, I want to really work with service providers and coaches because I like the drive of solo entrepreneurs. But I haven't seen quite as many coaches, leading with that goal setting, priorities angle. And I'm wondering if that means I have to dig deeper into my angle, like my angle being the thing that makes me stand out in the market, like in the example of the food court, like why would somebody choose me? And I was having a moment because I went on a couple coaches' websites, and again, sometimes we all have to put on those blinders. And I was looking at, okay, how do they position themselves? I saw one person that described herself as an OKR coach, and a lot of her clients are corporate clients. I see how that would work because objectives and key results are things that organizations need, even though a lot of people have goals in theory, but they don't actually follow through with them. And if you ask the average employee, what are your company's top three priorities, they actually cannot list them. I see how it's useful and needed. I was thinking, well, as solo entrepreneurs, wouldn't you then already have like your goals clear to you? Like, shouldn't it just be like it's just you? Like, there's not you know how in the corporate world a bit of is it telephone game, the one where as you keep on sharing the information it gets mongled. A bit of that happens because there's a whole chain of command from the top to the people that are doing the work. But with small businesses and solo entrepreneurs, I was like, that doesn't really happen. So what exactly is the problem I saw? What are the core challenges that solopreneurs and coaches have that lead them to saying, hey, I need a business coach? And so I went digging, right? Some of the times this looks like expressing exactly how you're feeling, to like writing it out in a journal and starting to write, or it looks like typing it exactly as you said into ChatGPT and saying, this is exactly what I'm looking for, help me understand what are some client codes, some things, that real problems that solopreneurs and coaches would have that would lead them to coming to me. And here are a couple of things that I found out just this morning, again, to tell you that this is an ongoing thing for a lot of people. Overwhelm and lack of focus. When you are a solo entrepreneur, you're juggling multiple tasks and priorities, and that can mean that you're being dragged in multiple directions. So every day you're working on a lot of things and still feel like you're working on nothing. Like, when is it ever enough, right? Okay, so yeah, the first one is overwhelmed. So you know that you're anxious, you're tired, you know that a lot of things are happening and you're busy. Another one that might manifest is revenue generation challenges. You know that you need to make more money, right? And that was like the problem I was trying to lead with. Although I'm realizing now that it's a good four problem that people are aware of, and like, are there other things to like highlight? So people know for sure that, oh, I need more money, I need to be getting more clients, I need to be able to convert more leads into paying clients, I need to increase my income. That's a problem that people can feel. It's important that they're able to feel these problems, because if they can't feel it, then when they see my marketing, they won't be like, oh, I need that, right? If it's something that is subconscious, like, I'm not trying to dig for it in therapy just yet. So the other things like time management and productivity, they're like, oh, I need to get more done. Self-doubt and lack of confidence, right? Being uncertain about your value proposition, just like this example we're reading today, and your ability to succeed. So self-doubt, lack of confidence, time management and productivity issues, revenue generation challenges, overwhelm and lack of focus, as well as isolation and lack of accountability, just working alone without a support system. All of these are symptoms and signs that lead people to say, I need a business coach to help me focus. I need someone to like think through things with, to like bounce ideas off of, but to also get strategic with and understand what the next steps are. And that helped me say, okay, yes, I see these challenges for sure. I mean, the example I read was a real person sharing their challenges with self doubt and lack of confidence. So that is a symptom of them needing me. So it's your job as a business owner who wants to sell themselves on their expertise, who wants to sell yourself on the value of your service, to go and look for how people describe the problems they're having that require them to need you. This is an exercise also called the process of learning the lyrics. And I think I first heard that from Pat Flying. When you learn the lyrics that your clients use, you gain the confidence that this is something new This is something real rather that people are looking for and they're already putting it out there into the world. And so it's just for me to bridge that gap between what they say they want and what I know I provide, and helping them see that okay, what I provide is what they need, right? So take some time every week, at least 15 minutes, to reflect on recent client feedback to help you sell yourself on the positive outcomes that you provide for yourself, for your clients in your service. Think about problems you solve, times you save them, increase in revenue generated. This really, it forces you, this exercise of selling yourself on it forces you to immerse yourself in the value you bring, and doing it weekly allows you to also add new things to the list. So you update the list, you review weekly, and you're like, okay, I'm still that girl, still that guy, and it's quite awesome. So take all of that and then create a value proposition statement, something short. You've probably seen a lot of people have the I help XYZ because it's a short way to say exactly what they do. And then practice repeating that statement all over and over again. Practice saying it out loud until it feels natural. So you can use it in conversations with potential clients. You can integrate it into your marketing. You can say it without feeling like what exactly did I do again, right? I am always refining mine, and I think it's okay as well. But all in all, I have it kind of nailed down. And here is mine. I help service providers with four-figure offers sell 3 to 5 packages to their existing audience in just 12 weeks by focusing on their money-making priorities. So I also help you gain super fans along the way, because it's not enough to, you know, close to sell to anybody, but also sell to people that are a good fit for your work and love the service that you provide. But again, as you can see, it's a bit long and I could shorten it a bit more to make it tighter. But like I said, my bio will probably say something like, solo service providers 2x your sales with a focus on executing your money making priorities in just 12 weeks. So you can always have a version of that you say to yourself, you say to clients, you put in your social media, just have it handy so that you don't have to think all the time. Sometimes you have to memorize it. Speaking of memorizing, let's talk about pricing. Okay, so talking about pricing, I read in this book by Alan Ways. He's the consultant and is famous for promoting value based pricing as well as for the $1 million consultant framework. He's like, you have to just practice saying, and that will be 50,000 in the mirror until it just rolls off your tongue. That will be 50,000. That will be 20,000. Oh, that will be $200,000 USD. Make it smooth. See how I still had to laugh? Because another thing I've heard is how much something big is often like how much can you say without laughing? How confident can you be in the price? Yes, there are market structures, what the market is paying, but sometimes that's negligible because if you can back up the price, people will pay. I've heard all sorts of pricing for the same services that are like 200 times more. People are paying on the lower end, in the middle space, in the top end. It all depends on what segment of the market you're serving, how confidently you're able to sell what you're selling, and your sales skill as well. So when it comes to your pricing, at the level you are in, you can start by comparing your prices to competitors' prices, people who have similar services. Note any differences in the value and offerings that you provide. If you have more of a hands-on program, then of course you should charge more. If you only work with a small number of clients, then charge more for that because it means they have your attention more, right? And so also feel free to start at the price where you're well paid. So figure out how much work you want to do in a year, how many hours you want to work, how many clients you ideally you have the capacity for, and work back your pricing based on that. There's so many excellent videos online about how to come to your pricing. But ultimately, pricing is dependent on how you want to do it. There's value based pricing, there's retainer pricing, hourly pricing. I think hourly pricing is the bottom of the list because it's at the very beginning when you want to be working for every single hour. As you go, you should look into moving into the value based pricing side of things. But more importantly, it's important for you to just stick to a price and be able to communicate it confidently. Say it in front of the mirror as often as it takes to just get used to it. This is the price, and that'll be $50,000, and then you just wait. There's a lot of content out there as well about how to close sales. So maybe work on that. So you might be thinking, okay, Fakbaya, this is a lot, but I still have a lot of imposter syndrome. What if you don't pay the prices? What if other people get all the business, all my competitors, and all of that? I want to encourage you to continue to sell yourself on it first. Regularly review your value audit. Exactly what value do you provide? for these customers that you're serving? What are the achievements that you've had? What are the results you've had for the clients you've had? Keep that at the forefront and review it regularly. Also practice affirmations. I deliver exceptional values. My clients benefit greatly from my services. The billions are coming. That one is mine. They refer me, they love my work and they refer me regularly. I have super fans who delightfully enjoy my work and spread the word about me. Find yours, right? And affirm yourself. A lot of work starts in the mind. And I know it sounds woo, but it is what it is. Our minds are so interesting. I was watching the Simone Biles show on Netflix about how she kind of had a block during the Olympics and her body knew what to do, but her mind would not compete with her body. And the problem with that is that if your mind doesn't tell your body where to land, you could like land on your head and die. And that's an extreme example in sports, but it's similar in business. If your mind is not in alignment with what your mouth is saying, with what your body is expressing in body language, that incongruence shows, and you unfortunately will not help you to sell. So get your mind straight, affirm yourself, but also seek help. One of the things I wish I had done earlier that I have now done is getting trusted mentors and peers in the way of joining a coaching program. I feel like I could piecemeal everything together by myself, but I was reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of podcasts. They're useful, but I think it's helpful to get in the game and like put a stake in the ground and say, here are my people who are doing similar work, and I want to seek validation from them. I want to learn the hard skills from them because there are skills to selling, there are skills to writing proposals, there are skills to putting together a package. Much more than can be dug into in a short podcast. But seek feedback from trusted mentors and advisors. There are so many sub niche communities of accountants, of social media managers, of coaches, of website designers. So find your people. I prefer that you find a paid community because when it is paid, you pay attention. When you pay attention. But better still, if you're looking for one on one coaching, like working with an individual, then you should book a sales call with me. As you can tell, I work with service providers and I help you sell more. And yes, we'll work on the business stuff, but we'll also work on the mindset stuff. When it comes to your competitors, I need you to turn on your blinders, okay? So, if you're ready to move past pricing anxiety and start making sales, let's focus on your money making priorities. My one on one coaching will help you translate your exceptional services into increased sales and attract high paying clients. Book a free sales call with me at fopsy.ca/call. Fopsy.ca/call. Fopsy is spelled FOPSY.ca. And let's turn your expertise into tangible results. Thank you for listening today. My name again is Fopo Nkwacha. Connect with me all around the internet. My LinkedIn, Fopo Nkwacha, my Instagram at Small and Thriving, and my personal ones at Fopsy the Great. I've been threading quite a bit, but if you're ready to work with me, the best way to do that is to head over to my website, fopsy.ca, and hit the schedule a call button. I can't wait to talk to you. Now go and kill all the work you're doing, kill those anxieties, kill it at work, and make some money. Bye, guys.